What's up everyone, this is Enel. Today I wanted to bring you all a guide focusing on all three forms of Poppi. Poppi is a very unique blade in that she has a lot of interesting customization options not present in any other blade. These customization options can make her extremely powerful post-game or later on in the game. QTpi, for example, with his max customization, is probably the best blade of the game at maximum potential. With that being said, these blades require more grinding than other forms, so if you'd rather have blades that are more instantly broken, I'd recommend sticking with Mithra for damage or Bridget for tanking. So I wanted to show you what I believe to be the best way to set up the forms of Poppi by themselves, as well as how to set up Alpha and QT as support for QTpi, and I'll obviously show you them in action as well. I have obtained S plus Trust on all three of these forms. So I noticed a lot of people in my Mithra video are wondering how I got to 1500 auto attack, and that is because of the S plus Trust. Each tier of Trust that you rank up, you gain extra damage on your auto attack, and so what you want to do is you want to complete your affinity chart. Once you complete a Blade's affinity chart, they have S affinity, and then you just want to like force feed them food for like 3 hours. It sounds monotonous, but there are 10 tiers of Trust after S rank, and if you just keep feeding them food, you'll eventually hit S+, and you'll reach your maximum damage capacity with that. So, here are the general food items I like to run on Tora, and pretty much everyone, honestly. Like, these are just general desserts. They restore arts each second, but they also have some good other effects, just to help make things a little bit easier, minus physical damage, minus ether damage, and party gauge gain. Overall, these are probably two of the better desserts in the game, maybe the best even, because they last like over an hour. They recharge a lot of your arts really fast. It can make everyone have decent recharge speed, even if they're not Mithra. And so these are the accessories I like to run on Tor. These are mostly set up to help QTpi rather than the other two forms. There's a 3-crown version of this, but I have mine on another character right now. But Saber Attachment, I know the 29% doesn't seem like much, but this increases the auto attack stat, which is a separate independent multiplier, and it multiplies like all of his damage by that 29%. So it's better than most additive multipliers besides like a World Tree Drop, which you don't really want to be wasting time stacking up. And so if you have the 3-count version of this, it's 50% critical damage. So critical damage is another separate multiplier. Your crit damage that you already have is a separate multiplier that adds on to everything else total based on your crit rate and all that other stuff. So when you land a critical hit, you'll be doing some massive damage. And the other good accessory you can run is High-Tech Eye Patch, which increases damage ratio, and it's another pretty similar separate multiplier, but it only works on driver arts. And actually, I think you might be able to cancel in this blade special, so it might help there. I'm not quite sure. But overall, Optical Headband's probably a little bit more consistent because I know for sure it works on everything as long as you land a critical hit. If you have a low crit rate, I would say High-Tech Eye Patch is better, though. So you can run some different accessories here, obviously, if you're focused on the other two forms of Poppi that aren't QTpi, like just offensive setups if you want to run them as tanks, or if you want to run QT as an offensive type, you can run like a fist attachment or something, whatever it is. So now I'm going to discuss the forms of Poppi here. So let's start with Poppi Alpha. Poppi Alpha is one of the strongest tanks in the entire game when set up properly, as she will pretty much be immune to death. The strongest attack in the game, Phallic Buster, will only do between 3,000 to 5,000 damage to her. With the setup I'm about to show you, it's pretty much impossible to die if you are using this character and player controlling her. The one weakness is a lack of damage and difficulty keeping aggro in a party setting, assuming you have other high damage monsters on your team. As you can probably already see, I have a 93% block rate, and this is accomplished by using a dilation chip and a 20% block skill increase RAM. This ludicrous amount means you can block nearly every attack that doesn't go through block rate. So for setup, you obviously want to complete her Infinity chart. She can boost her own physical and ether defense, and you see I have 45% and 40% there. That's pretty powerful. As far as her specifications in Poppi Swap, I have her on a Tank Mod 5. You can replace this with a Master Tank mod, but you would have to tone down some of the other elements on her because I already have a full tank completely, as you can see. I have her Ice Element right now. You can interchange this with any element you want to. I just have her as Ice Element for coverage. It doesn't make a huge difference. It's just for blade combos and other stuff like that. So for her arts cards, I have System Reset 5 and Aggro Draw 5. Aggro Draw helps give her aggro since, like I said, her damage is kind of weak. And System Reset removes all debuffs, which is very nice to have because debuffs can be a huge pain in this game. And for her 3 skill ram slots, I have Ultimate Shield, Block Rate Up, and Arts Heal 5. With Block Rate Up and Arts Heal 5 and Ultimate Shield, you're not going to be taking any damage. Let me describe Ultimate Shield really quickly. So Ultimate Shield, if you block an attack, you take 0 damage from it. Like, literally nothing. And with that 93% block rate, you'll be taking no damage from pretty much anything unless they have, like, an ability to go through your block rate, like Pierce effects or anything like that. But otherwise, you'll be blocking everything, basically taking no damage. And the little damage you do take, you can easily heal up with this Arts Heal 5, making Poppi pretty much an essentially immortal character. Now, I don't think there's anything else to show off here. Like I said, Dilation Chip, equip on her. I'm going to show her in action really quickly. I'm obviously not going to do this entire fight, but I'm just going to show you how you basically can just block everything here. So that one actually, he has a bit of a Pierce effect, so he can go through you a bit, but I'm taking basically no damage. So there's the damage immunity effect. You can block his topple effects with this also. His break and topple sword bite. I want to show that really quickly before I keep going. As you can see, he does like no damage to me with anything. And any damage he does do, I can easily heal up. There it is. See? He can't even use sword bite on me. And I can heal up any small damage he does very quickly with any arts I want to use if I want to just spam them. And I do some decent damage because like I'm already maxed out on attack, but it's nothing that to like have a huge difference to write home about here. So you can see some of his strongest attacks have already hit me, and he's not doing anything. And half the time I just completely block damage. And I'm already back to full after using 3 arts here. And I blocked sword bite again. I'm not going to keep dwelling on this. You can easily see how powerful this can be. So I'm going to move on to Poppi QT in just a second after I die here purposely. So Poppi QT is the one form I'm not exactly certain what an ideal build would be for her. She has a skill tree and default modifier that suggests she should be an evasion tank. Well, let's go to her really quickly. And that's fine and all, but Tora has pretty low base agility, and one strong agility mod doesn't really change that too much. I run Dilation Chip on her as well, but if you want to increase his agility, you can also run a Sunlight Chip on her. But even if you did that, you would still only have, what, about like 330 agility, something like that. That's not really anything compared to someone like Morag would have at that point in the game, especially with all the agility mods she has. And you can't really increase that further unless you have other agility mods in your other Poppi forms, and why would you really ever want that? So, in general, though, your base evasion is not going to make a gigantic difference. Her velocity gear ability on her skill tree, which is this, is completely separate evasion chance from agility. So it's just a flat 15% chance to evade any attacks. You don't really need agility for that. And she comes with an evasion art as well, so if you're player controlling her, you can control when to dodge certain attacks. She also comes with this ability to counter attacks with a lot of physical damage, which you can add on to as well with a counter skill ram. And I like to run Arts Heal on her as well to attenuate these strengths that she seems to have. And you can also run her as an attacker. She has enough base damage and ratios to function decently well as an attacker, as her 4 skill ram slots can be used to increase her damage and make her a bit of a mini QTpi if you want to go that route. I like to run her the opposite element of QTpi as well because I usually run Orbender on her. So, like I said, I have an evasion mod on her right now, not the master mod, because like I said, that's a pretty big resource hog for only an extra 5% modifier, so I don't like to run those. And I'm already almost maxed on her as well. I have her as water because I have QTpi as fire right now. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. I just like to run her as the opposite element. For arts cards, I have the debuff resist and critical up, just give her a little bit extra damage there. And like I said, I like to run counter 5 and arts heal 5. If you have counter 5 on her, she'll be countering attacks with like 500% physical damage, something pretty ridiculous like that, which is very nice to have, pretty useful extra damage. Element Orb Ender, if you hit an orb with the opposite element, you pretty much kill it in one hit. That's pretty powerful ability. It guarantees a second round of chain attacks no matter what. And for this last skill upgrade, I like to use Ether Boost because it affects all of Tora and all blades on him. And that's really nice to have for QTpi and some stuff like that. This isn't optimized for like complete support setup yet, but this is pretty much how like I run her in general. And There's not really too much to say about her. I forgot to mention the special enhancing rams. These are just vital charge. That's just the best one. Just trust me. You'll always have like above 90% HP most of the time, so having vital charge is pretty powerful. And I'm going to show her in action really quickly. I'll show you like how to use her evasion anyway. So like I said, it's not really her base evasion that's really powerful with agility. It's her flat chance and her evasion art. So you'll be taking a little bit more damage than QTpi was taking, or like not QTpi, than Alpha was taking for sure, but you can still heal that up with Art's heal. And when he uses Sword Bite, I'll show you how to use Scatter Shot to avoid that really quickly. Like right here, you can use an evasion art to dodge that, which is really nice. She has a smash art, which is really useful as well if you want to smash combo farm. So all in all, her strengths are, she doesn't really excel super hard in one thing like QTpi and Alpha do. And I'm getting launched right now because I didn't use the evasion art in time. But as you can see, you could make her an attacker to make her do a little bit more damage and make her, since you get her a lot earlier in the game than QTpi if you want to. But it's about all to really show off on her, really.
Thanks for the support.
So as you can see, if you want to player control her, you can dodge important attacks so you don't get toppled, launched, or one-shot, which is really nice to have. Evasion arts are always really nice. And yeah, she can function in that role just pretty easily. There's not much you have to do to her to make her do that, but I'd say QT's best role is probably just a support role, because if you have QTpi, there's not really any reason to use QT over her for that. But she's still a good character for the time you get her, and there's not a lot really left to say about that. All right, so let's discuss QTpi. I'm sure this is the blade a lot of you are here for and want to learn about and see in action. But before I get too far into that, first I need to give credit where it's due. I would like to credit Smaltz for being the main innovator behind this form of Poppi and discovering the optimal damage build with her. If you'd like to see some of his crazy builds and ideas that Smalt comes up with, I'll link his channel below. I've obviously improved it since the last skill slot now works again on this new patch that came out yesterday, but it was still many of his discoveries that led people to realizing how powerful this character can truly become. When maxed out, she is the strongest blade in the game. Getting her to that level, though, is a huge grind that will take you many hours of time. Even if you exclude Tiger, her affinity chart can be a giant pain with the 600 blade combos and 250 driver combos you need to complete. But if you can find the time to complete that or are willing, you will get a monster. As you see here, I have 1699 auto attack with a Moon Matter core chip, which brings me to 40% crit rate. Now let's discuss my customization options. Well, obviously, you max her affinity chart, get her to S+ trust, and Moon Matter chip will drop from Cloud Sea King Ken. I should mention, too, that the dilation chips that you want for probably QT and Poppi Alpha can be obtained from the data room after defeating Ophion. And the data room is in the World Tree and the control room that you probably visited. So now that all the slots work again, I now have all of these slots. I'm running Muscle Mod 5 on her. And I have the Fire Element Core. That's just the one I have right now. You can run whatever you want to, like I already said. For my 3 arts cards, I run System Reset, Critical Up, and Arts Boost. These are these two, Critical Up and Arts Boost, are optimized for damage. And System Reset is just to remove debuffs, because debuffs are bad, and we don't like debuffs. So we run that. Muscle Mod 5 increases Tor's strength and thus her damage at the same time, since a lot of her stuff scales off strength. For the skill RAM, I run Pinpoint Weakness 5, which is critical damage up, and critical damage, as I've already discussed, is a separate multiplier, so that's a very strong ability to have. I only run Critical Restore 1 because I don't have any skill RAM, as you can see, and you only really need the 10% crit heal. You don't really need anything more powerful than that, honestly, so 10% is just fine. All you really need for this character, and it's a great way to not use up all your resources on her, which I really like a lot. So Outdoor Attack Up is just what I stuck on here now that her skill RAM slot works again. And since most of the main fights in the game are probably outdoors, you can use that. But if you're like fighting indoors, you can also put an Indoor Attack Up on her. So it's really not a big deal to interchange that out. So the 3 I'm running in the skill upgrade slot are Challenger 5, which increases their damage by a pretty high additive multiplier to characters higher level than her. You can obviously change that out if you're fighting a lower leveled enemy or something. Affinity Max Attack 5, which is another pretty powerful multiplier. And Vendetta 5, which I believe, let me just make sure really quickly. Oops. It's another pretty powerful multiplier. Oh, yes, and damage increased to 50% by people targeting the user. So I'm running a lot of powerful multipliers on Poppi right now. And one is a separate multiplier, which is the pinpoint weakness. That's the one you really want to have. And combined with the accessories I have on Tora, which are also separate multipliers right now, you will end up doing some crazy amount of damage. Because Poppi also has a 100% damage boost on her affinity chart if you have max affinity with Tora. So that's a really nice thing to have. So if you want to set up Poppi Alpha and QT to help out, you can't put a muscle mod on Poppi Alpha, unfortunately, but you can put Hunter's Chemistry on Alpha, and you can replace this with a muscle mod on QT so that you have extra strength on Tora, and you can replace another skill with Hunter's Chemistry here. I think I just took off the element Orbender. I don't want to do that. Let me go put that back on now. And with the Ether boost here, that's nice to have. And also for Alpha, you can put a Strength up on one of these other abilities here, which I believe I have. Strength boost 1, which is 20 extra strength, which is very nice to have. So you get Tora at a pretty high strength, 543. And without further ado, I think that about covers it, how you want to set her up for max damage. Now let's see this monster in action really quickly. Oh, and also said I should mention Vital Charge. It increases your special damage. That's what I have on all my special rams. It increases your special damage if you're above 90% health, and you should pretty much always be above 90% health with like crit heal and stuff like that. And it'll increase it by 150% if you have the level 5 version. It's really powerful. So I'm probably not going to be able to win this fight, but you'll be able to see the damage. Just like that. And now I'm at max affinity because of the Hunter's Chemistry as I was running, so my crits are going to be doing a lot. 86,000 with the crit right there. Pretty crazy. I just got launched because Orion is still overpowered, but not a big deal. Oh, yeah, and then I just died. I've never died that quick doing that. I was testing some stuff earlier. Okay, let's go back and try that again really quickly. I just want to show off her level 3 special really quickly. Orion is still powerful. I'm not set up to fight him, so he can still just kill me pretty instantly because Orion. If you set up to fight this probably would not be a bad fight at all. Like, I'm just not set up properly to like block topples and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm 105,000 right there, 102,000 right there. Just some crazy damage. I'm going to show off her level 3 special here in just a second, if I can. All right, yeah, here we go. Level 3 special. Look at the damage this is going to do. This is going to do, if it creates crazy damage, that was almost 200,000 right there. Just the heat does 158,000. So now that he's got his enraged state, I'm not going to be able to hit him, so I'm just dead probably at this point. Like, yeah, he's just going to evade everything. So I'm going to die since I'm not set up for it. But as you can see, just some absolutely crazy damage that QTpi has if you set her up properly. If you're fighting like any other enemy, you can probably just destroy them in like a matter of seconds. But Orion has some stuff that makes him just a pain, but I wanted to show off on him since he's the hardest super boss. If you have a full party, he'll go down in a matter of seconds because you can break through his evasion decoy spike once he gets enraged. And you just have an extremely powerful character on your hand that just destroys everything. Let's see really quickly. I wonder if I can one-arc this. No, not quite, but not quite that broken. Okay, yeah. Once I got a crit, though, that thing died pretty quickly. So as you can see, this form of Poppi, if you max her out, is crazy powerful. And with as long as you run Desert, she has some pretty powerful art spam, too, so that's not really an issue. And I think that really about covers it. Like I said, you could run some different accessories on tour, like the Hype-Tech Eye Patch, or if you plan on like swapping between them a lot, you can actually replace this one with or even this one with a World Tree Drop and reach some pretty crazy additive multiplier because of that. And if you have like another support like Adenine increasing your elemental damage, or Dagus increasing all of your damage by 120%, then you might be able to damage cap like pretty easily on some of your powerful blade combo moves. You probably already can on the level 3s. So this character is extremely powerful. All 3 forms of Poppi are really good if you max them out and are willing to put the time into them. Poppi Alpha can't really be killed. Poppi QT is a great support and can then function pretty well as a tank or an attacker. and Poppi QTpi is just the best attacker in the game maxed out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I enjoyed making it. So one last note before I go. I kind of hate to mention this, but YouTube has recently changed their policy for becoming a partner with them. And it now requires 1,000 subscribers for me to become a partner, and I'm kind of far off from this total. So if I could ask, I would love to have some more subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to me. I will try to put out more content in the future to make you guys happy and more knowledgeable about the game. And that should about cover it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a blessed day.